Hello, hello. I'm awkwardly sitting in the middle of a park, hoping that I don't have to encounter any amount of social interaction. A lot of people around here, but nobody in this general vicinity, so hopefully the spot works out. I couldn't really find any other. I was planning on recording next to a canal road. It's technically illegal to go there, but I was thinking of just doing it a bit off of the road, just far enough away that the cars wouldn't be too loud. But there were a lot of people there anyway, which surprised me because I only saw the canal road 5 a.m. when I'm traveling to work. And of course there are no people there at that time of day. But apparently this time of day there are. And there's a guy driving a four-wheeler, playing loud music, and then another person walking their dog, and I didn't want my camera set up in the middle of all that. I need to get better at looking at the camera. I've never actually done anything like this before. My natural instincts just say to look down or look at whatever looks interesting. Cool mountains over there, really cool clouds behind you. I don't want to move the camera though. It's not on a tripod, it's on three family-sized boxes of cheese crackers and a box of Triscuit crackers for the angle. I did order a tripod from eBay, but it somehow got lost in shipping, so I'm still trying to get that worked out. But anyway, burned about $600-$700 in all this recording equipment. Maybe not that much, maybe it's closer to about $500, I'm not sure, but just out here to test this out, I guess. Ooh, very, very cool clouds in the background. I wish I could show you, but I don't want to mess up the camera position. It took me a while to get it right. Maybe another day. Also band-aids and masks on the ground. One of which is a new addition in the past couple of years, but the other of which has always been there. There have always been band-aids on the ground everywhere. Not just in this park. I think it's been 8, 9, 10 years since I've been here, but everywhere. You go to school and there are just band-aids on the ground everywhere. Not sure why. There's so many other things that people could be littering, but they always choose band-aids. There's so many other places you could put them, like the garbage can, but they choose the ground. If I'm being honest, I don't actually think very many people are going to watch these videos, or at least the entirety of them, and that's fine. Watching a video is kind of a window into my life, and with as little as I plan on actually cropping them down, it's kind of a 1-to-1 ratio. Every second you spend spending the video, spent watching the video is 1 second spent in my life that you're viewing. So, I suppose in comparison to other YouTube content, you aren't actually getting quite as much out of your time, I suppose. Or at least that's kind of the statistical way to view things. But I do think the videos that I'll be putting out there do have I think they will have some valuable information. So I'm not going to demand that people watch my videos because depending on who you are, there are probably plenty of more useful things you could be doing with your time, but I believe every person has knowledge that they have that nobody else on earth has. That includes people watching this video right now, including you. And I just like to share that because I don't really like the idea of having knowledge that only I have. I feel like if I have certain knowledge, I should be sharing that with others. every opportunity. So, and that's kind of the goal of my videos. A lot of people, when I was talking to them, they just, people in the LMS community, they assumed that I'd be making videos about how to use LMS, the free music making program, and about audio plugin development. Since I'm a developer for the program, I make the instruments and effects and stuff like that. But that's only part of my plan. I just want to make anything that I think can help people. And this video isn't really one of those. It kind of is. Maybe seeing my perspective will help people understand my future videos even more. But as is quite obvious, this has just been more of a ramble so far, not really any given topic. That being said, I feel like most of my videos will be like this. For some reason, I've never liked scripts. I've never done anything by a script. I have actually recorded many videos before, not like this, like LMS tutorials and stuff like that, and I never used a script. I've tried, and I don't like following it. I like just saying what's on my mind. I write differently than I talk and behave in real time. So when I'm reading a script, it just doesn't feel genuine, and I feel like that genuinity, if that's how you even say the word, is important in getting the things I want to get across to the viewer. Hope I'm not bumping this microphone too much. Because they are very important things, and I know that if somebody listens to what I have to say and I convey what I have to say incorrectly, that could impact their view towards that topic. So I only really have one shot at any given topic. So if I were to, and a lot of people would think, well, logically you'd want a script to ensure you don't mess it up, but I don't know, I just feel like it's important to ensure it's honest. I don't want it to feel like I'm here to brainwash you or control you or anything. I just want it to be like a conversation, except obviously you can't exactly talk back to me, but you know what I mean. Lots of birds out here, and dandelions, though the dandelions don't make as much sound as the birds. Random light out in the distance on the mountain, when the rest of it is dark and covered in fog, which means the light must be very strong. Actually, it's moving. Oh, it's an airplane. Well, that makes more sense. Looked like the mountain was on fire for a bit, but it looked a bit too small to be an actual fire. With how bright it was, yeah. Well, it seems I've lucked out with finding this spot. Nobody's come to interrupt me so far. A few people on a sidewalk behind the camera by around, I'm so bad with distances, but it must be 30, 40, 50 feet. A few of the people back there have given me weird looks, but I should be mostly out of earshot if they aren't paying too much attention to me. So I think I should be fine here regardless. I can't really see the camera from here. My eyesight's bad, but my scooter, my main transportation, might be within the shot. There was a sign at the entrance of the park that said no motor vehicles on the grass. I'm not riding my scooter on the grass, so I assume that's what they were talking about. But, I mean, here, I do technically have a motor vehicle on the grass, but I assume it's fine. It's probably for fires and stuff, and, well, an electric motor vehicle that is turned off probably shouldn't be too much of a fire hazard, or else I wouldn't be keeping it inside of the house. I didn't really know that parks like this exist. I mean, at least in this area, because here where I live, you look around, it's just endless sidewalks and roads and houses, just copy paste over and over again. Everything looks basically the same. But this park is different from everything else. So when I was looking for a recording spot, I checked many different spots. I was immediately drawn toward this park. It just doesn't. It's not as artificial, I guess. It is kind of artificial because people tend to the land and they keep it under control, and there is a big ugly square surrounding it showing the borders. But at least in comparison to everything else out here, it's at least a bit closer to nature. And that's actually kind of why I wanted to record on the Canal Road. Earlier today, when I came home from work, I saw 2 ducks there, and I've seen them 3 or 4 times before, and they just kind of hang out there sometimes, usually only when it's filled with water. I only saw them there once in the winter when it wasn't filled with water. And yeah, you don't see ducks very often out here. Maybe where you live, seeing wildlife is common, but the only animals I ever see are birds. And I guess ducks are birds, but you know what I mean, just the regular ones. The ones that eat all your grapes and stuff. So I saw those ducks, and I was immediately interested, and I walked up, and they were kind of worried about me, but they let me get within... Again, I'm bad with distances, but within 20 feet or so. And, you know, they were just kind of chilling, quacked at me every once in a while. That's cool. Canal Road water, well, the canal water was flowing pretty quickly, and the female duck was up on the dirt, and the male duck was in the water. And the water would flow, and it is flowing really quickly, so the male duck, it would just kind of stop paddling and it'd drift down the stream, and as it got far away from the female duck, it would start frantically paddling back up the canal, and then it just stop and flow back down again. It's just that over and over and over again. It's kind of funny to watch. Yeah, I'm kind of sad that animals never really let humans get up close, and it makes sense. There are a lot of people that would kind of abuse that. So the smart thing to do would be to run. You never know who is a friend and who's an enemy. But it's still kind of saddening. I've never really managed to come up to an animal other than the occasional stray cat, but those are rare. I've only seen 2, 3. Sometimes when I go to work, there are 2 bunnies that are just chilling on the sidewalk, and that's always fun. Those probably let me get within 10 feet, pretty close, but they never really let me get close enough to pet them or anything. But both of those bunnies, they just sit next to each other, and they just kind of chill on the side of the road. And every few days when I go to work, I just pass them, and weird thing is, when I'm on my scooter going 15 miles per hour and I go right next to them, they're fine. They're only scared when I actually get off of the scooter and just kind of stand there or try approaching them slowly or quickly or anything. That's when they start to run. So I wonder if when I'm on my scooter, they kind of think of it as a car. Because, I mean, a car has never, like, abruptly changed directions and try to eat them or anything. So they probably think of me as, safe. I'm going by at such a high speed. And it's when I am off of that vehicle that they see me as a predator. If that makes any sense. At least that's just kind of how I think about it. There's an airplane flying above me. It's pretty low elevation. I've always wondered what the colors on airplanes mean. The color of the lights. The one above me has a green light on its right wing and a red light on its left wing, and then just a normal yellow light in the middle. The only thing I can think of is maybe people use that to determine which direction the airplane's going in, but if that's the case, then all airplanes would have the same colors, and that might be the case, but I don't remember it being the case. There's another airplane in the distance that I could check, but it's too far away. I can only see the yellow light. There are quite a few airplanes around here. I'm not familiar with the area, but I think there is an airport nearby. I think I remember people talking about that. Now, when I say I'm not familiar with the area, I actually have lived here for almost 12 years now. But I never went anywhere, ever. Wasn't really allowed to at first, and then I moved out, but then I never really went anywhere. It's a lot darker from when I started. I hope you can still see me. The lighting might be awful. Anyway, I wonder what time it is. Let's see. I didn't do an audio or video test before this. I really hope it's picking up correctly. Alright. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not, but I have a laughing salesman as my phone background. It's a fun show. Really weird one. Phone is an Alcatel. It's only $20. It's my first ever phone, and I got it in January. I think. Yeah, January 14th, 16th, something like that. And for $20 it's a good deal. I assume it's that cheap because of the $30 a month fee to use it. They're probably managed by the same companies, which would explain the really low price for such a good phone. It's really just your generic smartphone. I don't know really much of anything about phones, but from what I can tell, it has all the normal functions as your iPhone and other stuff. Obviously probably isn't as powerful, and the camera on it is straight garbage, if I remember right. But otherwise it's it's just a phone. It does its job, and then it does more. It's a smartphone, which is really interesting. My view of the world of technology, I mean, I'm aware of where technology has gone, but from what I've seen, I kind of seem to be stuck in the early 2000s. Console I always grew up with was the Game Boy Advance. I was using that up until I was an old man at 15 years old. I'm 20 now. Doesn't feel right. I'll probably be 80 and I'll still say I'm 17. Wow, did get dark really fast. Clouds do look really pretty, but again, I don't want to mess up the camera position. I don't really know when I'm going to end this video. I've just kind of been going. I wasn't planning on the video being anything like this. I thought I was actually going to, think of important topics and talk about those, but important topics aren't always the most important thing to talk about. I'd say the most important thing for me to say right now would be for me to explain that People need to have an appreciation for a much wider range of art, and when I say art, people are probably thinking of something completely different. Some people are probably thinking visual art. Others may know that I'm also referring to audio, music and sounds and stuff like that. But that's not what I mean. I feel like everything can be a form of art. Something as simple as you walking outside and looking up and seeing the clouds in the sky. Speaking of which, the clouds back there are moving frighteningly fast. Really fast. But people, they don't really appreciate those things anymore. They kind of need something big and extravagant in order to be happy, which makes sense with the world we live in. That's how it's designed. Companies need to make money, and the way to do that is to persuade people, or in some cases even brainwash them into thinking that their products are mandatory. And that really clouds people's view of what can really bring happiness. I think the happiest I've ever been was, let's see.
I want to watch a movie. Well, what are we doing?
A bunch of people just ran by, and I think they were talking to me, but I'm not sure. I forgot what I was in the middle of saying. Alright. I feel like people's... Oh, now there's a loud airplane. Seems like everything is working together to ruin my train of thought. I should probably get going soon, but I do want to finish my thoughts here. I think people's views on what really brings happiness, I think it's been clouded over the years as culture has changed, because people convincing others that their product brings happiness is really the only viable business model at this point. Oh man, you guys probably can't see me at all, can you? It's probably just a silhouette at this point. Maybe that's pretty cool. Maybe it's a solid aesthetic. That'd be fun. Yeah, I think a lot of people think it's the artist's job to make sure the art observer appreciates the art, but that's only half of what's required. It's also the job of the art observer to appreciate the art that's being presented to them. And I don't think the best artist is the person who's the best at making art. It's actually usually the person who's best at appreciating it. And it is a skill that can be trained and learned over time. When I was younger, I never really had an appreciation of anything. I played video games whenever I had the opportunity, and I went to school. Didn't like it. I wanted to stay at home so I could learn other things, but most of that was for incentives involving, well, I liked programming, I liked making video games. I had an origami obsession for a bit there, which I suppose one could say is a form of art, but that wasn't really the case for me. I never made any of my own designs. I just put together designs that other people already made. So I don't know why I liked it back then. It's just something to do. It was fun to create, even though they weren't really my inventions in the end. But I was never really happy. I'm 20 years old now, and I can't really say that I've been super happy at any point. I've always seemed to have depression or something. But now I'm still not doing the best, but I can have moments of happiness despite everything that may be going on in my life. I can walk outside, look up, see the cool clouds for the day, and that can bring me some amount of happiness. And I can look at the trees, maybe look at a tree I've never looked at before, one with unique petals or a different sort of color that I'm not familiar with, and I can appreciate that. Every other week I go to the store now, and my top priority is always buying something new. I spend about $50 or so every 2 weeks on my food and groceries, but then I always spend a little bit more on something I've never tried before, because I think as an artist, one of my main goals should be to pursue novelty at any opportunity. For example, today I bought some, what were they? They were oysters in a can. I bought sardines earlier, and the oysters were right next to them, but I never noticed them before. So I bought those. I'm rather excited to try them. Even if I don't like them at all, the experience would be entirely worth it. Then I know I don't like them, and I just won't get them again, and it's fine. There are many occasions in which I try things and I don't think I'll like them, but I do. Like right here, I don't know if you can see it because of the lighting, but I have a jar of olives. I'm just carrying it around with me. Even have a toothpick in my pocket so I can eat them on the go. Everywhere I go, except to work, I bring olives. At first I looked at them and, they're just olives. I will say I've always liked black olives, but green olives, and recently I discovered purple olives. I wasn't sure. And the funny thing is, and this kind of ties into what I was talking about earlier with art, the purple olives, I tried them for the first time, and I actually didn't really like them that much, which was a surprise to me. I thought, so I didn't even know purple olives existed, and I thought they'd just be something that's almost a black olive or almost a green olive or maybe some slight hybrid. I thought it'd just be a similar taste, but no, it's completely different. And it was very bitter. It was incredibly bitter. And I wasn't a fan at first, but I bought the whole can, and I knew that and it was a new experience. I did appreciate it, but I thought, people eat these. People actually eat these, and they enjoy them. So perhaps I'm not used to it. I kind of compared it to spicy food in my mind. A lot of times people eat some super spicy food and they won't be able to handle it. But as they eat spicy food throughout their entire lives, they'll slowly appreciate it more and more and be able to crank it up just a little bit more. So I decided every day I'll just try some. Focus on the individual qualities of the taste that I enjoy, and then maybe eventually I'll actually enjoy the taste. And the transformation, that's kind of a cheesy word to use, the change occurred a lot faster than I expected. I think within only 2 weeks I was eating them like they're candy. They taste all right. I will say I definitely prefer black olives and green olives most of the time, but it's something like, I don't know what word to use other than edgy. It's not quite the right word, but surely know what I mean. It's a very different aggressive taste that can really go with some things, like certain foods or certain moods or anything like that. So I eat those almost daily now. I really do enjoy them. And a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, you just tricked your mind into it. You don't actually enjoy them. It's just placebo. You're tricking yourself into it. And that's not really the case. Taste seems like the kind of thing that you just eternally, if you don't like something, you simply don't like it, and it'll be like that forever. But that's not the case. And I mean, I proved it right here, and you can try it yourself. Try to prove me wrong. Just take something you don't like, not something completely, totally awful, because I mean, these purple olives, I wasn't appalled by them. I just thought the bitterness was just too much. And just try them every once in a while. Focus on what you like about them, and just every once in a while, try them again. And eventually, maybe you'll come to like them. And that isn't only applicable to food, it's applicable to many things, everything. You look at a certain tree and you find it to be uninteresting. With enough time, you can train yourself to be able to find the details within any tree that you look at, and be able to find something in it that's interesting, that separates it from all the others, and it just makes it so cool. The only times that can be difficult is when you get things that look exactly the same. Like if you have 20 houses in a row that are utterly identical. And of course, that probably won't happen. People have different decorations in their lawn, and their lawn will have different flowers and weed placements and stuff like that. But in a hypothetical scenario, if they were all utterly identical, if you look at one, you've seen them all. But that's such a rare scenario. Wow, it is dark. Whew. It's such a rare scenario, but for the, and so in the majority of scenarios, absolutely anything, you can find something to appreciate about it. And of course, doing so does bring you some amount of happiness. When I'm at work and I'm unable to do those things, I'm not happy. When I'm at home and doing things I love to do, I mean, obviously if I love to do them, I enjoy it, but sometimes it gets rough, sometimes it gets monotonous, and I think the times I'm the most happy is when I'm experiencing something new. Something as simple as looking at the clouds can make me happier, but I rarely do it because it feels like a waste of time. You always feel like, man, I spent so much time on that thing. I could have spent that time doing something else. But then in reality, you say you're going to do that something else, but then you start wasting time on Discord or YouTube, or that's not a call out, by the way. But if you want to be productive, and you should, make sure you're actually spending your time that way. And it's okay to have relaxation time, but if you're spending 5+ hours a day on Discord, that's no good. Unless you're actually doing something useful on there. Like, for a bit, I was helping with suicide prevention, and I was actually able to help tons of people by telling people exactly what I just said. Become an artist. That doesn't mean somebody who creates art, but somebody who can appreciate it. I'd say they're just as much of an artist as one who creates the art. And you'll probably hear me say that a lot in future videos, and future videos will not be like this one. Well, some of them will be, of course. But the future videos will probably have much more of a topic. This was originally intended to be just a quick audio and video test, 5 to 10 minutes. Obviously, that's not what happened, but I just care about you guys. I care about people, and I know that the information that I have that nobody else has, I know that if everybody had this information, it would fix the world. The information that I can give, and not everybody's going to get this information. That's just obvious, but I'm obligated to share it with the people that I can share it with. It's my responsibility. I'd be a horrible human being if I was blessed with all this knowledge and I never actually shared it with anybody. I just barely realized this microphone is aggressively stereo, and I've been holding it to the side for this whole video, which means the audio might be obnoxiously panned. Maybe I can fix that in post, but given the delay between the two speakers due to the differing distance, it probably won't be something I can easily fix, but maybe I can just do some quick balancing, which will probably sound a bit artificial. I don't know. I just hope it's not too awful. This is my first time doing this thing, so we'll see how it goes. I did not realize it got this dark at night. See, something interesting I noticed is that morning weather, early morning weather when it's pitch black, is so different from late night weather when it's pitch black. Well, not weather, but the hues and colors. In nighttime, late night looks so much cooler than early morning. I will say that. And I have to get up every morning at 4:45 to head off to work. My shift starts at 5:30 a.m. And I see early morning every day. And sometimes the clouds are interesting. Sometimes I can see the moon. The moon is not out right now. What is that? Oh, another airplane. They keep tricking me. There's so many airplanes out here. And sometimes I can see like 5-10 stars. Not very many. Light pollution's too awful. But for the most part, the only really interesting things I can see are in the early morning, or at least that I can find in the sky. It's just the clouds, the mountains, if I can even see them, and just those few stars and the moon. The moon looks really cool, I will say that. But I like late night much better. It's weird. A lot of people don't notice, but the hue, the general color that everything has changes so much depending on the time of day. There's not a lot of interesting stuff to find, honestly, in comparison to other places, of course. And I don't have to look at the sky. I can look at other places to find interesting things, but I guess this long rant is just a way of me saying I prefer late night over early morning, but I'm always out here in the early morning rather than late night. In fact, this is the latest I've ever been outside ever since I moved out, but also probably the past 2 or 3 years. 2 years, probably. I will say I can't really remember it. Actually, maybe I've been out here for 4th of July. I think I may have visited family on that day, and I don't know. I can't remember. Of course, on that day, you're more focused on the fireworks and all. This opinion may be unpopular, but I've never... this may sound weird, given everything I just said, but I'm not actually very interested in fireworks. They're all just so similar. I don't feel like there's enough room for variance, or if there is, people don't really take advantage of it as much as they should. Whenever 4th of July comes and the fireworks start going off, I just kind of start looking at other things, looking at the people around me. Most of the time, looking at people playing with their parents and all that. that doesn't mean it's a bad event. I enjoy looking at those other things. I don't have to just look at the fireworks. And while I'm not exactly a social person, that doesn't... See, everybody says I'm an introvert, and even I say I'm an introvert, but I love social interaction, but I hate socially interacting with the people I've been given, if that makes sense. Many of you watching this probably already know I have many different forms of autism, and that makes it very easy for other people to misunderstand me. I think I really am an extrovert by nature, but regardless, I feel alone even when I'm surrounded by tons and tons of people. This wasn't meant to become a depression post or anything, and that's just reality. I didn't mean for that to come across as depressing as it probably did, but nose whistle. I just realized I don't know how to get home. Well, anyway, now that it's very late at night, 9:23, I'm probably going to be around 3 hours late to bed by the time I'm done with everything, which is actually the normal scenario. I don't get as much sleep as I should. But I suppose I should head out. This video needs to end eventually, and I don't really know what the battery life is on these things. I hope I hit record on both of these devices. I wonder if this still picks up the audio when I turn the microphone away. I did that when I said that last sentence. Well, I can't see the screen, so I'll assume it's recording. Oh, the red light is on. Okay, it's recording. There we go. I wonder if you can see the red light on that camera. I don't know how good that camera is. I haven't tested it out. I just rolled with it. This is the camera test. Right here is supposed to be so short. Anyway, I'll wrap things up. Looks like everybody left. I still hear some people in the background, but for the most part, everybody seems to be gone. There's another airplane. The colors are different. I was right. Okay, so I don't know what the colors mean. I don't know what decision making goes into their color picking, and I would like to know. Maybe I'll look it up when I get home, but if I were to guess, I'll probably forget. Anyway. I guess I'll just end this now. I'm bad with the outros, so I'll just end it here. Wait. I feel like I should have some closing remarks of some kind. Well, in the future, I'm not talking about this video. I'm talking about future videos. If you guys were to help me out, and I'm not going to ask you to like and subscribe. That's just annoying. You've heard that every single video. You get the point. I don't care about the numbers. I just care that people get the information they think they need. So I'm not talking about this video. I'm talking about future videos. If there's a video that I make that has information that you feel like somebody needs, please share it with them. And that's the point of these videos. After all, it's not for popularity. It's not for numbers. Who cares if I have 123 subscribers? It's for the information I want to get out there. If I wanted subscribers and if I wanted likes, I would not be making a video like this. I would be, first of all, I can already tell you right now, the thumbnail's probably just going to be a random clip from the video, mostly unedited. Maybe I'll do a thing or two to it. But I'd have a clickbait thumbnail, and then I'd be like screaming in the microphone, big bright colors, boost the saturation on the video to 200%. No, that's not what I'm here for. Hopefully that is abundantly obvious. I just in my future videos, I want to get my knowledge out to the world so that when I eventually die, it won't be as much of a tragedy as it normally would have been. Kind of like the situation with Tim Smith of Cardiacs. His death was an absolute tragedy, and he probably had much more he could have made, but at the same time, the fact that he existed and managed to make all that wonderful music, that made his existence very much worth it. And as of right now, if I were to die, it would be a tragedy, at least in my eyes, because there are a lot of things that there are a lot of personal experiences that I've gone through that have given me knowledge, not out of superior intelligence or intellect, but just honestly just raw coincidence that I need to share with people. I know that it can help other people, because right now we live in a very confusing world where information's being thrown everywhere and nobody knows what to believe. And I'm not going to claim to be a prophet or anything, but I do know that there are some areas where I've managed to slip through the cracks of just normal society due to my weird childhood. Which allows me to have knowledge in certain areas that other people simply haven't had a chance to have. And it's simply unfair for me to hold that knowledge in the same way it'd be unfair for me to not give food to a starving child if he's right there. I'm obligated to help in any way I can, due to the blessings that I have. At least that's how I feel. Maybe other people disagree, and that's fine. That's just kind of how I see things. I think if I give so little to others that I'm not putting myself at any sort of disadvantage, and I'm not sacrificing everything, I feel like I haven't given enough. And I don't want to say that I'll never actually give enough, because that perfectionism is unhealthy. But I do kind of feel like that. Oh, it is. I need to go. I said I would go, and I just started talking about other stuff. Well, all right. Y'all have a good one. And remember what I said. Try to see if you can improve your own lives with that information. I know it helped. I know it improved my life, which is why I'm sharing it with you all. Hopefully, it'll help you too. And that's the whole goal of these videos here. And if you watch this whole thing, you're a weirdo. Probably am not going to edit this much at all. Probably just cutting out the large silences. So, man, if you watch this whole video, then I'm very excited, because my future videos, a lot of them at least, won't be nearly as ranty, which means you'll be able to get a lot more content out of those, and you'll actually be willing to watch them. And that means maybe I actually do have the opportunity to help you and give you the information that I want to give out. Now that I think about it, it's probably a bad thing that's so dark. You can't see my face, you can't see me talking. No emotion is really getting across through my face. It's probably only my voice, and I know I talk weirdly. So... wow, that is a weird looking airplane. Sorry. I keep getting distracted by the airplanes. That looks so weird. I'm sorry. What was I saying? I forgot. The airplane looks cool. I mean, I can't see the airplane. I just see a giant light, but it looks weird because it's going through the... Wait, no, there aren't any clouds in that direction. That's so weird. That is such a big light. It looks like It's like, if Jesus were ascending into heaven a few hundred miles away, that's exactly what I expect it to look like. It's just big, bright, white light going up. New star forms in the sky and just... No, I'm looking at the stars, and the stars aren't nearly as bright. Okay, now it looks like an airplane. There we go. Okay, it's close enough now. I'm sorry. How long did I just spend talking about an airplane? Sorry. I'll end this here. No outro. I'm ending it. I'm gonna stop. I need to go home. I need to go home right now. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm stopping now. Okay. Button. Where is there? It's so dark. Okay. Bye.